just an amazing, informative day, and I think for all of us, a really invigorating day that kind of just makes us want to get back out there and do more. And remember to look after ourselves first, and then we're much more available to all the people who are relying on us out there. In this drive, in this campaign, to create more awareness of all of these important issues across all of the disciplines who need to have this information. So get in touch with us if you feel you've got something to offer to the committee, and also if you haven't already joined, please join and encourage your friends and colleagues to join as well.
So we do have this as our vision, better secure attachment experiences for all children and families in Ireland, and we all are an all-Ireland organisation, and we want to be that.
It's about love. It's about that very basic need from the moment we're born to be in relationships and to attach.
Western Area Outcomes Group also welcomes you, because in the Western Area, even though we have a trust, which is an integrated health and social care system, we also in Northern Ireland and in the West, we plan for children together. So we have an outcomes group set up in the West, which brings together a coalition of partners to begin to think about children and what it is that we need to do in the West. So the health side, the social services side, the police, the housing executive, don't plan in splendid isolation.
Thank you. Mary, I'm absolutely delighted to join you today. I just love the passion around spreading the word with an Irish attachment in action. I've known Johnny for a few years. I've met him once before, but I've followed his social media and the stuff that he's involved in. And for me, it's about connection with real life and real communities. And I feel that Irish Attachment in Action is actually taking that step forward, connecting professionals within communities to real people who are struggling every single day with the demands of life. My key message would be that people matter, communities matter, and the more we connect people with communities, the more power we have within to make a difference to the outcomes to our people. If I could say what would make a difference, what is a change or a small change that we can make to make a difference, I would say, listen. See things through the eyes of the child, young person or adult. See the child, not the behaviour. Our kids can thrive, not just because they've got good carers, kinship carer, foster carer, adoptive parents or birth parents, because they have systems around them that build the scaffolding to help them manage, not fix them, that help them manage with all the stresses that they maintain.
Well, Mary, I'd like to thank you and the IAI for having me. It's been so far an amazing day. I think the main motivating factor I had was about getting the message of integrating the idea of attachment with the different workings of different professionals. As a systemic psychotherapist, I would always privilege the integration of different ideas. And for me, I really wanted to give other professionals the message that you don't have to just look at one, you can look at everything together. I think for me, and I spoke a lot about it in my presentation, it's the importance of thinking about the child in context and thinking about the foster carers, adopted carers, kinship carers, and that actually often our first port of call should be them and not the children, because they are the people that are with the children 365 days of the year. We get them maybe an hour a week, but yet they are the people that are supporting these children, young people through trauma, through development. And I feel that our role is to really think beyond the child and to think about supporting carers to really help children develop in the best way that they can and break the cycles that the children that we work with have been in. But the stories, and that's what I'm concerned about, and that's when we talk about narratives. Narratives are the stories that people, families have about themselves and how they describe the way that they live their lives. But I believe that feeling that we have permission to express our own vulnerabilities with colleagues that will listen to us. So it's almost like the parallel process of what we expect that the clients and families that we work with do. It's okay for us to say, God, I had a really bad day, or I had a fight with this, or I had a row with that. and be able to be able to, I suppose, to speak about that so it's not going into the work. But I also think, again, the boring stuff like the importance of boundaries, the importance of very good clinical supervision that gives, I suppose, permission for clinicians to be genuine in their work, because there's an idea that sometimes being professional means being closed and clinical, whereas I would believe that the professional is personal and the personal is professional.
I think it's been brilliant. It's been so enlightening just to hear different people's perspectives and to realise that so many people that are trying to help people in so many different ways, but that we all have the same aim. And it's lovely to hear hope talked about so much today. Everybody that has spoken this morning has mentioned giving hope to these people, even if they've had a very tough start in life and if they have a lot of aces in their life, that hope is what we can do for them. And somebody mentioned building a scaffolding around them to give them the support that they need. And that's something that I really want to take forward and do more of on my own work as well, and working with the Schools for Hope as well.
Yeah, we've really enjoyed it. We were just talking over lunch about how wonderful Tina was to listen to, and it made us really think back about some of the children we've worked with. We come from Child Protection Social Work in Dublin, and it made us really think about what we're going to do when we go back in terms of the learning today. She was a real standout for us. And it was also lovely to see the different members, the judiciary, someone from the police, someone from psychotherapy, all talking about similar things from a different perspective. I've learned a lot about ACEs. I know we were always thinking about it subconsciously, but it made us really think about it more and how we're going to bring that back to our practice in Dublin, and that we don't use it enough.
Well, my experience has been that it's really energising to be part of a committed group, a community of practice, and so it's given me lots of ideas. And one of the things I particularly liked was the fact that I suppose not only were you thinking about the impact of attachment on our early years and on our life, I suppose how it shapes our lives and maybe our experience of relationships, and how ACEs, trauma-informed care support, but also we're thinking about, well, what are the protective factors? How do we address this? How do we work? And I suppose I love the phrase, not what's wrong with you, but what's happened to you. Tell me your story, because that's such a compassionate way to work with people, to wonder, to be curious, like some of the... Well, we run summer courses for teachers, and so I think as well as putting the ACEs information, which we already have in, and we do talk about the one good adult, but I like the AAA, the always available adults. So how maybe encouraging the teachers to think about in their school community, how do they create that emotionally available environment, I suppose, where a child can turn to that adult. Yeah.
I've really enjoyed coming along to the conference today. It's been great to have the opportunity to meet so many people here who do so many varied roles and jobs. And the variety of speakers has been excellent because it's really highlighted different angles on attachment, different ways of processing and understanding how attachment affects so many different workplaces, circumstances for families and children, and roles that people have. I really enjoyed Tina's talk and how she really personalised the experience of working with attachment in both her life and her community, and the way we can learn and take away very specific examples of the best attachment promoting ways to work with families. That was excellent.
It's a fantastic conference. It's so inspirational. Such a wide variety of people talking. The judge was just spot on. I loved his tie. Yes. A judge bringing some colour into the whole forum that we had. But in terms of the one message, I suppose the one message I was really taken, it was probably from Tina. Very dynamic, wasn't she?
Yes.
But the message I really took, she had a lovely picture of a heart up, and thinking about how a child goes from a state of some discomfort into a state of some arousal. But the next bit I thought was really key. It is the bit of how the children's needs gets met, and then we hope to come back to calm. But really the question that she was asking was, why are the needs not being met? And what's the bit that we're going to do there to help children's needs get met? And I think that's really the crucial thing that we need to be asking ourselves. What are we doing to help the needs be met? And I think that brings us into a whole other sort of circle as well, because we know when the needs don't get met, we go into that whole other cycle that we talk about. But if we can get in there at helping parents, and this is what Kieran was talking about, the preventative pieces, make our trauma-informed communities, that when we can get in and pay attention to when the needs aren't being met, and we can do some preventative corrective pieces, and I think we've got some lovely pieces of work going on in that regard. So very long-winded way to say, how do we get round to paying attention to getting children's needs met, because that's fundamentally the bottom line.
The conference today has been an amazing opportunity to really explore but also celebrate how we are all present in the lives of our vulnerable children and the amazing resources that we have to offer them. And I think, hearing all the speakers today, realising that there's such a movement now around, okay, so we're beginning to really understand about ACEs and trauma and attachment, so what can we all do? And it turns out everybody can do something, and I think that's one of the take-home messages from the conference. Often we feel very depleted, or we're not good enough, we know how much trauma the children have had, but it turns out that everybody is doing something, and that can often be enough. But we do have to start really with ourselves as well, because in this kind of work and in the ways that we are present in the children's lives, we really focus on the children, which is beautiful, but sometimes that's at the detriment of ourselves. So, check in with yourselves, spend some time calming and regulating yourselves as well, and then you'll have more to give for the children.
So you've got to value your health and your energy. Yeah, because otherwise, if something happens to you, then that's another person gone out of their lives.
I'd love people to take the message away today that in order for children to feel safe, which is the key thing that's lost with trauma, is they need to be around adults who are safe on the inside and the outside. So spend some time really exploring what that is, because that's what the children need.